watching Faith World TV. Faith World TV, changing the world with the Word of God.
A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching us. Yes, it's another brand new week. We are bringing you great news. Now, the world is governed by several styles of leadership. And, you know, from the home, from institutions, we have people that lead us. And there are different ways in which they guide us and we follow. We've got the transformational leaders, we've got strategic leaders, we've got democratic leaders, we have servant leaders like myself, and of course we also have visionary leaders. And today we are blessed, truly blessed, to have an amazing visionary leader who I have known for nearly 15 years. Well, I would say probably longer than that, but he has been on global stages, you know, and leading, and also a corporate trainer for just over 15 years. His work speaks for himself, but also can I just mention that he's a bit of a fashionista as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the one and only Onyi Anyado.
Thank you, Professor Pauline.
You know, I like to give drum roll.
Thank you.
Because this, for me, this is huge. Having you here on the show is fantastic. I've always wanted to interview you. I've seen you on big stages. You know, I've seen you, you know, delivering training to big companies, and you know, I've really admired you.
Thank you.
But you do have a story.
Yes.
A deep one.
Yes.
I'll let you talk.
Thank you for the opportunity as well. So yeah, let's go back to the beginning. In the beginning, so I was born and raised in Hackney, East London. Right. So of course we're international platform. So London separated really into 4 boroughs or 4 areas: yeah. North London, South London, East London, and West London. So I was born and raised in Hackney, East London.
The famous Hackney.
Famous, yeah, or allegedly infamous, but the famous Hackney, to a 2.4 family: my mom, my dad, my sister, and myself. Unfortunately, at a very early age, my dad left. So for the majority of my childhood years and my teenage years, it was just me, my mum, and my sister.
So you were brought up by a single mother?
Yes, yeah, particularly from my late teenage years. No, in fact, yeah, childhood, yeah, from early childhood, maybe from about 8, 9, yeah. And then thankfully on Father's Day about 10 years ago, after 25 years, me and my dad reunited after 25 plus years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, how was that? How did you feel?
Thus far, it's the most emotional day of my life. It was like, I remember I was at church and my sister must have texted me and said, "Oh, Dad's at the house, at my mum's house." And I remember I was like, "So?" Like, you know, like, what? And then obviously I got that conviction to go. And I remember going up the stairs and looking and seeing him sitting down in the living room.
Waiting for you?
Yeah, because my sister was there, my mum was there, obviously, and then, you know, first thing I saw was his long legs, and I remember I saw him.
You saw his long legs, somebody like you like yours.
Yeah, he's tall like me. And then we just embraced, and I just cried. Remember that song by Justin Timberlake, "Cry Me a River"? Yeah. I cried.
You literally cried.
Cried. It was just, 25 years of not seeing my dad.
So were you crying because of anger or relief or happiness? What was the crying for?
The latter two, relief and happiness. Yeah. There was no anger inside of me. It was sheer relief and sheer joy and happiness, and like, wow, this is my dad I haven't seen for 25 years. Yeah.
No anger at all?
At all.
Wow.
At all.
That's incredible. Is it because of your faith, like you forgive and move on?
Yeah. So I mean, I'll speak about that shortly, but yeah, that was part of that. So no anger at all. It was just that, as you mentioned, relief, happiness, joy, shock, awe, like, wow, this is my dad. And I was crying, man.
Wow. So a lot of us have seen you on stage. You very flamboyant when you walk on stage, very well spoken, the delivery is excellent, you speak in front of thousands, you train so many, and we just look at you and see this is a visionary leader. you have it all sorted. But I mean, but just talk us through, how did you get to that stage? Because I know that, you know, for one to get to a point where you are, there must have been some behind the scenes that we haven't seen or we don't know about.
Yeah. So I went through the education system, so obviously coming from a Nigerian background, had to be a doctor, lawyer and pharmacist. Went to a good secondary school in Archway, North London. Went to Southgate College to study business studies. Again, I didn't know what I wanted to become, but, you know, I had to be a doctor, lawyer, pharmacist, proper Nigerian, stock African, according to my mom. And then went to Middlesex University to study management and marketing, a degree. Again, just going with the flow. Unfortunately, quote unquote, second year in university, I dropped out. Began living a particular life called a street life. It wasn't really gangs.
So why did you drop out?
Do you know what? One day, a friend, quote unquote, came with an envelope full of money, and he said, "Look, I'm making money, you know." Yeah. But I mean, at that time, I had my student loan. Yeah, cash in the envelope. It was about £2,000. But at that time, I had my student loan and my grant, so I had money, quote unquote. But you know, the love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah. And so I dropped out, began living a particular life called the street life. It wasn't really gangs, but it was just young men on the streets of East London up to no good. Unfortunately, in that 10-year period...
So when you say up to no good, what are the things you were doing?
Yeah, just crime, just wasn't really gang banging like that. I wasn't...
people...
Yeah, there was a little bit of crime here, but for me, I was more of a, going into institutions, taking out the money, etc., using my charm, quote unquote, for the wrong reasons. And yeah, so in that 10-year period of living a street life, 6 of my friends got murdered. I nearly got shot dead, and I went to prison twice.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Was it in stages, or did it happen all at once?
No. So it was in stages. So first one got stabbed. He got stabbed in Jamaica. Then 2, funny enough, was on my birthday so I went to prison twice, unfortunately. 6 of my friends got murdered, as I said. So 2 was the same time on my birthday when I was in prison. The second one, or then a few years later, and then 1 before him. So it was over maybe a 4 or 5 year period. Yeah.
So you had to wait for 6 of your friends to die in order to change your lifestyle, or?
Really, I mean, at the latter stages.
I mean, when one wasn't enough?
No, because living that street life, as a young black man or whatever you want to describe it, I didn't have any, you don't have, I don't say I have no soul, of course you have a soul, you don't have no emotions. It's part and parcel of the street life, isn't it?
Also, was it because your dad was absent?
I mean, in hindsight, yeah, I would say, having a father figure, every boy needs a young
leader in the home.
Of course, you need that father figure. My mum was is the best mum in the world, but of course, you need a man to give you that structure and that discipline, I believe, in that sense. So yeah, 6 of my friends got murdered. I went to prison twice. Then he got shot dead. The latter stage of living a street life, I got fed up of being fed up. I just fed up of the shootouts, fed up of prison, fed up of my own friends trying to kill me.
At what point did you decide that this is it? This is not the kind of life I want to lead. I want to live a different life. I want to be on stages. At what point did you now decide, right, that's it, I'm dropping this life of crime?
Yeah, I mean, I think that time, so I think I nearly got shot dead in 2005. So I think, but that period of 2006 up to 7, and the only job I saw myself doing was becoming a counsellor in North London for some strange reason. And when I'm talking counsellor, I'm not talking about politician, I'm talking about helping people, listening to people in that sense. So, even though I was a street guy, I still used to go church, Catholic church in Stratford, East London. And I remember it was the 2nd of November, 2008, and I was fed up. I was just like, this is long. I was homeless, living in a hotel in Essex. So that morning I just drove down to a church I used to go to. It's a normal Catholic church. And I remember I got down to West Ham, so that's part of East London, and they were doing the roadworks because of the Olympic Games. Yeah. And I remember I was driving, and a roadblock, the way I was meant to go, the roadblocks. I said, let me just go to my mum's house. I'm just fed up. Let me just go there and rest. Yeah. And I remember I was driving, and in front of me, a car was a sticker, and it said "Prayer Works." I was like, huh? So okay, let me go church then. Let me not go to my mum's house. So when I got into Stratford. And then the church was closed. I thought, I'll come back later anyway because it was still early. It was about 9 o'clock. So I remember I was driving and I saw a young man carrying a Bible. So I thought, let me stop. But as I drove, he disappeared. I said, okay, no problem. I've seen my sign. Everything's going to be okay. Yeah. So I'm driving again. And I saw another young man walking with a Bible. I said, okay, this is getting a bit too ridiculous now.
What you're seeing now is just Bibles.
Yeah, like that's a sign,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I stopped. I remember I parked in Stratford opposite the McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, okay, he's either gone, the guy's either gone to McDonald's or he's gone to the train station. Something told me he's gone to McDonald's. So I remember I went into McDonald's and I saw him and I said, oh, you know, where you off to? He said, I was going to church. I said, oh, can I come? So yeah, so we jumped in my car, went to the church, and then that day I gave my life to Christ, became a born-again believer, and my journey started from there. Yeah.
Just like that. Wow. And so when you went into church and realized, okay, this is where you belonged, did you now then develop that, you know, leadership trait? That now that's where you belong, but you also want to lead? Or how did you then transition into?
That's a very good question.
Yes.
That's a powerful question. Yeah, so, you know, I suppose you would call it self-leadership. So obviously, the people, my friends, they were all educated, you know, they were all working. So I said to myself, a guy, you can't just be a bum, pardon my French. Yeah. So I remember my pastor at the time, Pastor Matthew Ashimalowo from KICC Church, said, whatever you find yourself doing, always network. I was like, wow. So obviously, I still want to be a counsellor. I went back to adult college to get my qualifications, and I just went online and Googled networking event counselling. Yeah. And then it took me to a thing about life coaching. So I remember I went to a life coaching program, a 2-day training. Of course, they sell you the package. I think the cheapest package was £4,000. At the time, I didn't have £40 to my name. So I took a step of faith, launched my first business, B1 Coaching.
How old were you?
How old was I? I was like 9 years of age. I'm joking. I can't remember.
You were like what, early 20s?
No. It was early 30s.
Early 30s.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then, so how did that happen? Yeah, so, and then I began to, you know, when you're surrounded by the right-minded people. Remember, I came from the streets, surrounded by criminals. I was a criminal myself, but now surrounded by, you know, fellow young Christians who are go-getters, who are driven, etc. So I said, I need to step up.
Actually, did you find it easy to just blend in? Did they just accept you, or did they look at you a certain type of way? Oh, he's just come from prison twice. He's a criminal. Did they look at you that way?
No way. It was a real community, common unity. They embraced me because at that time, at that point, I was doing 5 services. I was doing a 7 o'clock service, 9 o'clock service, 11 o'clock service, evening service, served in the youth department. So they're thinking, who the heck's this guy? From nowhere, he's now shaking feathers, he's now worshipping God, he's doing 5, 6 services. So they embraced me and they realized that, wow, this guy is not, you know, he's serious, you know? Yeah. And I began doing a monthly workshop, Your Time Is Now, in Stratford, East London. No one came for like 3 months, you know?
Really?
Yeah, no one came. I remember them times I was heavy on Facebook. And so like, I would put the Facebook event and then like, 60 people will register for £10. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Yes, £600, I made money. Yeah. And for 3-4 months, no one came. But I was with a dog with a bone.
But you were just determined to stay.
Yeah. I didn't know how to give up.
Wow. Hello? Hello? Welcome to the show. Network issues. Please send text messages. If you're not able to come through, please do send text messages. Thank you. Yeah, carry on.
So I was with a dog with a bone because I used to go to conferences and see speakers speaking on the stage, and I was thinking, like, I can do this. So, you know, I created
from church and seeing, you know, how people speak in church, encouraged you to become a speaker as well.
Yeah, because my pastor at that time, Pastor Matthew, he was very charismatic. He was very vision driven. He would really challenge you to really step out of mediocrity.
Yes. Okay, we have this call again coming in. Oh, we have. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to pick up videos, guys. So you need to just call.
Call only, please.
Caller only or text. Come on, yeah. But so from, you know, watching your pastor, you know, preaching and you know, the word of God, so then you decided, okay, you want to take this into the world, you know, in a leadership way. But you know, when you go on these stages to speak, you're expected to sort of share your own story. Yeah. Were you at any point shy of sharing your story? You know, you want to hide your story for a while. You know, were you?
100%. Yeah. At that time, I mean, no. So I started doing the workshops, and that was with young people. Then I went into the education space. And of course, the young people, so sharing that was easy. But in 2018, I pivoted because I got a revelation that a shift is coming. Of course, I didn't know it was COVID-19. So I went into the more corporate space. And at that point, to be honest, no, I didn't feel comfortable standing in front of, let's be honest, corporate white people.
Telling them you've been to prison twice.
Twice, yeah, to be honest.
Who just pick their laptops or whatever and get up and leave.
And that's what I assumed. I mean, I did tell them, that I nearly got shot dead, single parent family, but that prison part, I didn't really feel comfortable with it in that sense, until now, of course, which I share really, in that sense.
In these wild stages, nobody's judging you.
At all, no. I mean, my life story and legacy is titled From Detention to Distinction, which is part of my brand. So when I'm speaking and coaching and training leaders across the earth, I'm taking them out of their prison of fear, out of their prison of mediocrity, out of their prison of no vision to now become leaders of distinction. So it's an irony in more ways than one.
And so that brings us to the topic of today about, do you care about leaving your legacy? If you're watching right now, the topic of today is, do you care about leaving your legacy? Now, Onyi, from your story, from prison to big stages, surely there must be a reason why you wanted to transition. Was it because of you want to leave a legacy, or you want to erase the bad side of your life?
I think first and foremost, it was God's plan for my life. Like I always want to become a counsellor, working in North London, helping people. That was me. I was fed up of being fed up, the street life, but God has a major plan for me. So once I embraced that and I understood it, it was full steam ahead. So my brand was distinction, and it became cutting edge distinction. But I realized that I had to practice what I preach. I always tell my audience, or share with my audience, dear leader, do you know you don't have to be dead to leave a legacy? So when famous people die, we say
that again?
Dear leader, do you know you don't have to be dead to leave a legacy? Because when famous people die, we say he left a legacy or she left a legacy.
Right.
But you don't have to be dead to leave a legacy.
Living legacy, the legacy you're living right now.
You're living it and you're leaving it.
And living it and leaving it.
Yeah.
It's almost like, when somebody has gone, when they transition to where they're going to, then we start building these monuments, statues, we start renaming roads, but I'm thinking, why are we not doing all of this when somebody's still alive and they can see, Onyi can see that, oh my God, that road has been named after me, enjoying the legacy, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And so maybe, in life now, I've met people who, they're just living a life. They just say they just want to live their life. They don't care whatever happens, nothing to do with legacy. They're just living one day at a time. What would you say to anyone that feels like that's how they want to live?
The essence of the yardstick 21st century leader is being more selfless than selfish. Not everyone's called to become on a big stage. Not everyone's called to be famous. Living and leaving your legacy. For example, if one can afford to, can say, do you know what, let me sponsor or let me help assist a food bank in my area and give them £100 a month. That's living your legacy and leaving your legacy. It might not even be money. You say, you know what, let me volunteer at a food bank twice a month, or in fact twice a week. That's living your legacy and leaving your legacy. So that's going from being selfish to being selfless. It's not just about money. It's not just about notable, tangible impact. Something as simple as that.
Yes. But I think what we struggle with is the difference between living your legacy and leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are stuck in leaving our legacy. How then, as a visionary leader, how do we now come in and live our legacy? How do we do it?
It's making impact, tangible impact every single day. It could be something as simple as if you're going to work, going to Tesco and see a homeless person, buying them a sandwich and a drink. That gives you that self-assurance that there's people that's far off worse than me, but I've done something good for today. What a man sows, what individual sows is what they reap. So that's living your legacy, actually tangible leaving it. And that it doesn't cost you anything. It could be time as well. So I think sometimes we in the West in particular are very selfish. Me, myself and I. Gimme, 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 my name is Jimmy. If there's any Jimmys, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying in general,
Could be Jane.
It could be Jane, yeah. Gimme, or, you know, multicultural. Gimme, my name is Jumike, or Jinda, or James. So multicultural.
Yeah.
So yeah, something as little as that as living your legacy.
Yeah, so let's go back to your life, you know, obviously part of your legacy. So you've been in prison not once, but twice. But when you were in prison, and obviously some people might see they're in prison, they might think that that's their end. It's like being in a dark place. How then did you, you know, pick yourself up and see that, you know what, this is not your life, as in, yes, this is just something that's happened to you. You've been in prison. This is not where you want to. But how did you pick yourself up? Because a lot of people would be scared of even mentioning that. Would be scared of even going in there twice. Yeah. Once is enough. Twice.
I mean, the first time I went there, I was with my friends, quote unquote. And I'm not glorifying prison in any shape or form, but it was like a fun house, like literally.
What?
Yeah. I never forget, I was in Wormwood.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was in Wormwood Scrubs in West London, and a police officer, a prison officer.
Yes.
They call you by your surname.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi, hello.
Hi, hello. How can we help?
Just wanted to find out and ask a question about Onyi Anyado.
Okay, go ahead. But what's your name? And where are you calling from?
My name is Jinka.
And where are you calling from?
From London.
Oh, okay. So Onyi is here, very inspirational. What question?
Yes.
What question do you want to ask him?
Firstly, about his journey. How did he get started? And, you know, what was his journey into the industry that he was in? You know, did he always want to be in that world, in that speaking world? And, how did he get there?
Thank you, Yinka from London. Thank you for the question. Really good question. Yeah. So, as I mentioned earlier, I always want to become a counsellor working in North London. But then, you know, again, looking in hindsight, I realised about my GTP, my gifts, my talents and my passion. So in secondary school, I got in trouble for speaking too much. You know, now I get paid for speaking too much. But I entered the industry for the fact that I kind of fell into it, one. And two, I observed other speakers and I said to myself, hold on, I can actually do that. So that was a combination of understanding my GTP, my gifts, my talents, my passion, understanding observation, which is a very key leadership skill, and then creating a brand and running with it. I mean, it hasn't been easy. In fact, it's been unbelievably difficult. You know?
I mean, are you still there? Are you still on the line?
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm still listening attentively. Yes, thank you.
I mean, Onyi is saying that it's not been easy, it's been difficult. But you see, when we see him on stage speaking, in front of thousands of people, we think it's easy. I mean, what do you think?
No, it sounds like it's a very amazing way of, just being determined in what you want to do as a career, because, I want to also ask, what would be your influences? Because it's not been so easy. Like, who have you seen in your industry that kind of like maybe guided you through, or you look to as inspiration in your particular field?
Wow, that's a really good question. So starting up, definitely there was two people that I looked toward and I highly admired. They're both speakers and entrepreneurs and authors. The first one was an Australian speaker. His name's Douglas Kruger. One of my good friends gave me his book, and that book literally revolutionized my mind. So shout out to my best friend who gave me that book. That really empowered me. And then another one is Daniel Priestley. So he first came up with a brand called Key Person of Influence. But this guy is absolutely fantastic. He's really the entrepreneur's entrepreneur. And I just studied both of them from afar. One of the things I've learned from them was the consistency of your branding, the consistency of your message. And, you don't have to have 10,000 followers or £10,000 to create a brand and be consistent with it. So I think those were my two inspirations, my two influencers in that sense.
Amazing. Before I let you go, the topic of today is, do you care about leaving a legacy? And Onyi kind of twisted it a bit. It's about living your legacy and leaving a legacy. What do you think? Do you care about leaving a legacy?
I definitely agree with what my brother says about living the legacy before you can leave a legacy. You can't leave something that you've not lived. Yeah. So, yes, I definitely agree with that that viewpoint and analogy of living this legacy out as big as you want to dream, or however you see it to be, and then similarly, like what he said about those people that inspired him, what they've done has left a legacy and an imprint on him to either follow, to replicate, to duplicate, and then similarly someone else will look at what Onyi's doing, like myself, and we will replicate and simulate what he's doing, and that's the legacy that he leaves. Is that people, they look at you in a certain light and in a certain esteem and say, okay, I really like what this guy's saying, and I really believe in what he's saying. Amazing. And they follow in either his ideology or his ideas, or they pick up anything like that. So, yeah, I think I definitely agree about living the legacy allows you to leave a legacy. Because if you don't live it, then how can you leave it?
Wow. Wow.
That's a thought of a century.
That's powerful.
So
That's from my good speaker there, Onyi. That's very inspiring words, and I think I'm going to walk with that as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We do appreciate the call. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for asking, and all the best with everything that you're going to do in the future.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. God bless. Wow, that was
powerful.
That was powerful. That's right. And again, go back to saying, you can't live, you can't leave when you haven't lived.
Powerful.
Yeah.
What
are you leaving behind?
Yeah.
If you didn't even live.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible.
It is powerful. Profound.
So, yeah, let's go back to you were, telling me about prison, how prison's actually not too bad. Like, is it 5-star?
Yeah, but children do not go to prison. Stay in school. Please don't be inspired to say, okay, this guy. Yeah. At that time, for me, because I was with my quote unquote my friends, and it was good. And as I said, I never forget a prison officer. They call you by your surname. So I was in Wormer Scrubs prison, and the officer said, "Onyado, why are you so happy for? You're in prison."
Right.
And I looked back and was like, "What do you want me to do?"
Yes.
Do you understand? The second time I went, I said, that's the last time I'm going. Yeah. Like literally, because I was in Pentonville, which is in central London or North London, sorry, and sharing a cell with another man, and the toilets in the same cell, and like that one.
That was it for you.
From then I said, nah, never again.
The luxury is finished.
Yeah,
it's finished. Wow, amazing. Now obviously, while you're on these big stages and you are actually selling them a dream, but you're actually selling them a dream that you have dreamt already, isn't it? Because it's your dream from that journey from the street to now you're in places where you're getting paid to train. You're training leaders, I mean, when you're there, helping them to transform their lives and to see farther, because you're a futurist as well. What goes in your mind? What really inspires you? And also, 2 questions. What inspires you? But also, do you struggle to block your past? Does it sometimes surface back, or that's finished? You never think about it again.
This is question time.
Question time.
Prime Minister's question. This is profound.
Yes,
No.
yes,
Good question.
yes.
So the first question, what inspires me is, I say with all humility, is the grace of God. Right. For the fact that I survived death. Like the bullet missed me by. People don't understand. The bullet missed me by centimeters.
Are you serious?
It literally.
So did it go to somebody else, or it just missed you? And
it ricocheted my cousin's arm, and it went through the headrest. Like that day, because I think it was 2000. I can't remember what 2000 it was, but that period there was so many shootings and murders in London.
Yeah.
So
were you in a gang?
It wasn't really gang. It was just friends who happened to be part of a neighborhood who were at issues with another area. But it was my own ex-friends that tried to kill me. So it was like, and this is actually interesting. Yeah. So the guy that tried to shoot me, he saw me on a TV show in 2021. And he couldn't believe it. So he found me online. I wish I had it now. And he wrote me about 8 paragraphs apologizing. And his own words said, "I can't believe I nearly killed somebody like you who's a global voice. Please forgive me." Wow. The same guy that tried to shoot me, I think in 2000, it might have been 2005 or 6, shoot me dead, as in I saw it he pointed a gun at me, and maybe 20 years later, whatever, he saw me on TV speaking, and he had to find me, and I was
make
shocked.
that up.
No, he
God.
very intelligent man, because what he was writing, I was thinking, this can't be the same person, and he was apologetic that, you know, as young men, we were so stupid. I'm watching you now. I can't believe it. I'm so sorry. Yeah, of course.
Your 6 friends gone, you'd have been the 7th.
Yes. Yes.
The number 7 is very significant.
Very significant. So I don't take it I don't take it lightly. So, you know, so to answer your question, it's the grace of God. It's a privilege to serve and to coach and to empower and to challenge leaders to develop their leadership distinction.
Yes.
And to block out the past, it's part of my journey. My legacy, my life story is titled From Detention to Distinction.
Yeah.
You know, my whole brand's based around
Detention
distinction.
to distinction.
Yeah. So now when I'm speaking, as I mentioned before, when I'm coaching, training, speaking to my audience and leaders, some of them are in their own prison of fear, their own prison of lack of vision, their own prison of stagnancy. So now I'm going to use the key of distinction, the key of discipline, the key of dedication, open up the prison so they can see new opportunities and possibilities in the midst of obstacles and problems. Because I did it, I saw it.
Wow. And while you're training leaders, you know, you're a trainer to the leaders, you know, big companies, medium-sized companies, small companies. Do you sometimes look at someone and wish that they could see what you see in them as a leader? Some people just don't see their potential. Sometimes do you see that you want to shake someone? Because that's what you do as a leader, as a visionary leader. You can see what the person can already deliver.
Yeah.
And so do you get frustrated and just want to shake someone and say, look, you can do this, you can do this?
No, because if they did see it, they wouldn't pay me to help them to see it. So to answer the question, no. Be blind, don't see nothing. Use me, pay me. In that sense.
Keep being blind.
yes. But to be honest, I mean, at the end of the day, for me, it's I've learned over these near enough 15 years of doing this is patience. And, you know, you mentioned some of the, I think, 4 or 5 leaderships. Empathetic leadership is a massive trait for the next 20 plus years. As the world becomes even more turbulent and more disruptive, more than ever before, we have to be empathetic. So if I'm seeing whether it's a young person, whether I'm seeing an adult, whether I'm seeing a senior manager who doesn't see anything, doesn't believe in himself, are literally blind to the opportunities, possibilities, that's why I'm here to serve, empower, and unlock them out.
And so you spoke about different types of prison. It's not just being locked up in a cell or whatever. That's, you know, the one that is pandemic at the moment, and I see with a lot of young people, is now the prison of drug abuse.
Yeah.
Do you go into that area to speak with, you know, young people that are addicted?
Yeah, because I started off this journey, I started off in an education space, so schools, colleges, university, then partnered with Barclays to deliver the Barclays Life Skills across the UK, 10,000 students or 10,000 young people in 3 years. So I've still got a passion and a commitment for young people. So I've done work in prisons, funny enough. Of course, schools, when they call me, deliver programs for quote unquote underprivileged young people. So yeah, young people are still my heart in that sense. Yeah.
And in terms of, you know, the drug abuse, you know, when you're tackling that, well, where do you gauge where they're going with it now? Because I still feel like it's quite rampant right now, especially with young people. And that's where they need to bring you in more. Yeah. Do you get these opportunities more often?
I should get more opportunities, but when they come, I dive in at the deep end, because I know when I speak to young people, 9 times out of 10, it's the fact that, one, they haven't got no vision or purpose for their life, so they see drugs as a friend, as a platform, or whatever the word is, to lean on. So I always tell them, and we always laugh about it, don't get high off drugs, get high off your vision. Get high off your passion. Get high off your GTP, your gifts, your talents, your passion. That's what should make you high. That's what makes you excited. But remember, in the world that we live in, particularly in the West, it's very sheltered. Back home in Africa, by 6 o'clock as a young person, you're out and about. You're going to school. If it's a weekend, you're going to the market. Here, you can sleep into your bed 11 o'clock, and your mum will bring you breakfast. And when and you say, "Shut up, mum, it's not hot enough." Do you understand? So it's very lethargic, it's very lackluster. So I'm there to, and for young people in particular, to shake them up, but also to get off that dependent on the state, dependent on the family too much. So
And so, you know, obviously, let's go back to, you mentioned your dad having met your dad after 25 years.
Yeah.
What does he think about what you do? What does he think about Onyi, the global leadership professional trainer, the one training leaders? What does he think?
He's
He must
proud.
be proud.
He is. He's very proud.
Yeah.
It's funny when me and my mum talk, we could talk for maybe like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
When me and my dad talk, it's literally 2-3 minutes. How you, son? I'm blessed. How you, dad? I'm blessed. How's this? Love you. God bless. Bye-bye. Simple. But he's proud. He's proud.
He's very, very proud.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have imagined you coming from, where you've come from. Obviously, when he was away and absent, he must have been still tracing your life and what you're doing.
We spoke about it. He always said that, he would pray for me. He would always think about me. But, life, it happens, isn't it, in that sense? So and that's why when I saw him, all I could do was cry. And people like yourself asked me, wasn't you angry? I didn't have any anger inside of me because I didn't know him like that.
Yeah.
For me to be angry. And by that time, I'm in Christ. So, we've been taught about unforgiveness. So be angry about what?
Yeah, exactly.
Now
let's get back to, legacy again, the
Yes.
topic of today. Are young people too young to think about leaving a legacy?
That's a good question. No. So, for example, anytime I go into talks in schools, I'm seeing more and more, they have a board, and on the board they have the names of prefects or star students that have left now.
Yeah.
So that's a legacy. So imagine you're a 12-year-old and think, one day I want to be a prefect. One day I want to be a head boy or head girl. Do you know, that's living my legacy and leaving my legacy, as the caller Yinka said. So that speaker, that student now whose name's on a board, etched in history, he can now or she can now inspire the future students to come. So no, I don't think you're too young. Even if you're not the most intelligent person, against all odds, you get the best, the GCSEs, that's your legacy.
Yeah.
Against all odds, you may have been a bit of a troublesome, you came from a poor background, but you've worked hard or worked smart, and you've done the best possible GCSEs. That's your legacy. So no, I think you're never too young to live a legacy. And remember, legacy is not about being world famous or world renowned. It could be a simple.
But I think that's what the world tried to teach us. That legacy is about, you got to be famous, you got to be rich, you got to be always doing something. This, that. People don't think about the smallest thing that they do, even in their community or within their surrounding. They don't value that. They don't think they've left a legacy. But how do you help people realize that actually whatever they're doing is a legacy? Keep doing it, because some people might not be doing what they want to do because they think they're not going to be famous enough.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to remember them. So when people think that way, how do you bring them back and help them, steer them in and say, hold on, this is your legacy?
Yeah, good question. So I always share with them that it's not about fame, it's about gain. And it's not just about your gain, it's about the person that you're helping or you're serving. That's their gain too. Because when they gain, you gain.
Right.
And when you gain and they gain, then everyone gains. So it's not about fame, it's about gain.
It's about gain.
How can you serve someone when they
Are you
gain?
sure you are not a rapper?
I mean, when I was younger, I always wanted to be a rapper. So
Wait, were you a rapper?
No.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll be called a philosopher, a wordsmith, a poet.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not a rapper. No.
Yeah. But anyway, what is the next big thing for Onyi Anyado?
It's more global impact. To serve, to speak, to train. So and it's good because, the question right now, organizations are asking, leaders are asking, nations is, one, what is leadership? I've got the answer. Two, how can I become a better leader? I've got the answer. So for me, it's serving my essence of my brand distinction, cutting edge leadership across the globe. Organizations, institutions, nations. That one thing.
Okay, there's AI at the moment.
Okay.
Is it affecting the style of leadership?
Is it affecting?
Styles of leadership, or even your style of leadership? Is it affecting leadership at the moment?
Yeah, that's a good question. And let me see what notes I made on my hand. No, yes and no. I think, with AI, it's accelerating everything. So everything's coming faster. And I think more as leaders, particularly leaders that speak, that have a voice, you now want to distinguish between your original voice and something that's AI voice.
Right.
So on LinkedIn...
Because somebody might just put something over what you said, or what you didn't even say, but they might use your voice. So hence the reason I'm also one part of the reason why I'm asking, is it affecting, your leadership traits, your speaking traits, is it even going to affect your legacy?
Personally, no. I think every good leader now has to leverage AI in whatever capacity, whether it's using ChatGPT more, whether it's chatbots, whatever.
I think it's important.
100%.
Really?
100%. In 2020, during the lockdown, I came up with this insight. I don't really like calling it a quote. I just call it a timeless truth. So in 2020, I think it must have been September, October, or 2021, I said, in this era of creative distinction, it's now human, natural intelligence versus AI, artificial intelligence, to see who can create disruptive value at speed. So there's no time to be lazy, lethargic, and lackluster, but rather it's time to be disciplined, it's time to be deliberate, and it's time to be distinctive. In this era of creative distinction, it's now human, natural intelligence.
So there's a competition between the human natural intelligence and the AI.
110%. To see who can create disruptive value at speed. That's the end goal. Is like, as an employee, your competitor, 99.9% isn't your fellow employee. It's going to be AI. It's going to be how fast can you create value at speed? Because the world
So in some way, AI might even take your jobs on stage.
Not me, no, not personally, no, never.
No, but I mean, it could be like AI might take.
No, not me.
No.
I mean, a time is coming. You're going to have robots who are going to teach and speak on stage, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if right now everyone's, most, as you say, most leaders are using AI or even speakers to probably curate the speeches, isn't that then they've lost their own natural intelligence and they're giving it to artificial intelligence?
And that's the issue. And that's why I said it's now who can create disruptive value at speed. There's nothing wrong with using ChatGPT, etc.
You use it a lot?
Not to curate, no.
No,
definitely not. I one thing I pride myself on is my distinction as a speaker. That one, I won't sell it for anything, never.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing wrong with using AI in that sense. But I think the more natural you are, the more of a storyteller you are, that makes a big difference for me as a speaker. Yeah.
What is the largest crowd that you have, spoken in front?
About 15,000, not yet. 1,500 to about 2,000 a number of years ago. Yeah. That was a good one.
That was in the UK?
No, that was in Portugal. Yeah, that was really good. That was really, really good. But this year I'm looking to do quadruple that. 15,000, 20,000, 100,000. Because I've got a big head, so let me think big. I can't think small with this head.
So when you're on stage in front of all these people, and as a speaker, I mean, I speak as well. But as a speaker, sometimes you tend to get people making faces. You can spot somebody making a face, and do you get discouraged?
Never.
Have you ever got discouraged?
No. I'll give you a story. So one time I was in Norway just before the lockdown, so 2019. 2019. And of course, I mean, not of course, but I was the only one black speaker. I don't like using the term black, but for conversation's sake, for black speaker. And during the networking beforehand, before the official event, I looked around, I was the only black person. And I remember there was a white Norwegian guy, white gentleman. He was looking at me because he was trying to work out, who's this guy? Like, he's got a pocket tissue, he's very smart, he's got an afro. I could see him, but I didn't. So I never forget, I came on stage.
Fine guy, tall,
And so I remember I saw him, and he was like looking, he looked, and he was looking like, what does this guy know? Who's this guy, Jerry?
But
Obviously, he wasn't Nigerian.
Just looking at you and dismissing you.
100%.
Yeah.
Midway, this guy was making notes. I was watching him. I didn't want to smile.
Getting in.
Yeah. Afterwards, he said, fantastic talk, one of the best ever. He shook my hands.
Yeah.
I was like, So, I mean, I could be looking at him and get, this guy, oh my gosh, he's racist. He thinks, who am I? No, I'm just I got to show my value. Remember, it's who can create disruptive value at speed. So he might have a misconceived idea about me, but by the time I finish, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
I mean, the speakers industry has really grown.
Yes.
It's enormous.
Yes.
And obviously you go into an industry with for passion, but for profit as well.
Yes, sir.
So the passion, I know you have 120% passion. Big question, is there profit? Because I know there might be some young people watching right now, they want to get into that industry. You might, they might come to you for training.
Yep.
So is there profit?
There's definitely profit, but you've got to work 7,000 times extra hard because it's not overnight success. It might take 10, 15 years of really putting the work in, building a brand. So I talk about the 3 C's of your brand distinction, your capacity, your capabilities, and your credentials. Once you do that consistently, then
10, 15 years, and that's not for young people, because right now young people, they like instant, something like just microwave food. Like,
so they might as well become content creators then, to be honest, because the speaking industry, and I'm happy now, it's very not elitist, but it's really, you can't come half-heartedly with the same old slides, with the same old messages, with the same old, you're just gonna get, So yeah. And I'm definitely on the right track because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, as a visionary leader,
Yes.
what are the traits? How do you separate yourself from a transformational leader, strategic leader, democratic leader? How do you, cut your own side and say, this is who I am?
Good question. So I created a framework for the yardstick 21st century leader. So there's 3 pillars. So pillar number 1, please, as I say in Primark. So pillar number 1, leadership isn't about age, but rather leadership is about influence, impact, and inspiration. So it's not how old you are or how young you are, but how long you've been in the industry, but how you can influence, impact, inspire yourself before other people. So I know that no matter how hard it gets, whatever, I've got to find the inspiration somewhere before I can inspire others. Yeah. Pillar number 2, distinction in leadership isn't a mindset. Distinction in leadership is a state of mind. So distinction in leadership isn't a mindset. Distinction in leadership is a state of mind.
Wait, that phrase is confusing me.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe I haven't eaten or something. Maybe it's just going straight in my head. But can you just dissect it? Slow down.
Yes.
Stay with me. Come on.
Yes. So mindset, and I give an example.
Okay.
I'll give 2 examples. So before the lockdown, a mindset of a leader was that go to work, wake up in the morning, rush to work, sit in front of a computer, after 25 years, pay off your mortgage, retire, that's it. 2020, the lockdown changed everything.
Yes.
You now have to have a mindset. So you have to go from a mindset to a state of mind. And that state of
It's a
mind,
shift.
100%.
Yeah.
That state of mind is agile, it's disruptive, and it's a future thinker. It's agile, how to pivot. It's
So
disruptive.
you're working on your state of mind.
Yes.
Not mindset.
Yeah, because mindset is fixed. I'll give an example. My parents' generation, the best generation ever, allegedly, they came from, Nigeria, or many came from the Caribbean or West Africa, came into England, and it was go to school, go to job, go to university, get a degree, get a job.
Married.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wait for grandchildren.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's a mindset. But a state of mind is, again, have an opportunity to see new possibilities and opportunities in the midst of obstacles and problems. So,
So like we had the COVID.
Yes,
So within that situation,
100%.
then people had to
Pivot or die,
and completely also shift their mind.
100%. That was my most creative
Okay.
time, lockdown. Because now, a lot of the thought leadership I'm using now was from that period. So I had a mindset, I could say,
You had to study how people change. I mean, people
100%.
change, and also people change careers from somebody being a doctor, maybe deciding to become, I don't know, speaker.
Yes.
So,
yes,
somebody who was a carpenter decided, okay, this is nothing working here now, became maybe a chef or something.
100%.
People completely change.
100%. They pivoted,
That
they're
shift
disruptive.
it was just so sudden that it made everything look so easy. It's not. Okay, carry on.
Yes. So a mindset, a state of mind.
Yes.
And the 3rd pillar is distinction in leadership isn't about me, myself, and I. Distinction in leadership is about him, her, and us.
So that's like servant leadership.
100%.
Which for me, this is what I represent. Servant
Yes,
leadership.
definitely
Okay.
do. Yes, but I like to flip it
Yeah.
and call it legacy leadership. Remember,
Oh, okay.
you don't have to be dead to leave a legacy. So it's not about me, myself, and I. It's about him, her, and us. And I love English words. I love to break down words. So I created an oxymoron, so to say, where it's community, common unity, common unity. So when you're legacy minded, you're all about the community. It's not about me, myself, and I. It's about him, her, and us. It's a community. It's common unity. It's common unity.
Right.
So when I work in organizations and I sit down senior managers and I ask them, what's the vision of your organization? One will say A, another will say C, another will say F. They're not in vision, they're in division because they're not unity, they're not in common unity.
Right.
So the essence of leading in the 21st century and beyond is to live your legacy minded. It's not about me, myself, and I. It's about him, her, and us. I'm not saying don't put yourself first. That's ridiculous. You have to put yourself first to a certain extent and your family. But ultimately, in leadership, in community, in business, you also have to be selfless rather than selfish.
But I think it's not just in leadership, in community and institutions. I think it's in the home and in the entire community as well.
Yes.
And this is what I always say as well, that I don't believe in self-love. And I know that people argue with me about this. Because if you love yourself so much as the way people love themselves now, I'm loving myself first, you're denying me and denying him and have the opportunity to love you. I believe your friend needs to love you.
Wow.
Your spouse must love you.
Yes.
In fact, your family, they must love you.
Wow.
You didn't come to this world to love yourself. You came to take care of yourself. Yeah.
Wow.
Self-care. You came to accept yourself. Self-acceptance.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, those two, self-care and self-acceptance, is different from self-love. And I think people confuse it. And that's why we live in a society where there's a lot of just, it's about me. People bragging how I'm going to love myself first. I'm like, no, babe. You're not loving yourself first. Let Onyi love you. Let me love you.
Yeah.
And in return, you're loving somebody.
Wow.
And that person is loving somebody.
That's legacy.
But while
Wow.
you're doing all that,
I like that.
what you need to focus on is self-acceptance. You accept yourself as you are. That's not self-love. Self-acceptance is not self-love. Self-care is not self-love. So, for me, that confusion, when you talked about that distinction, the last leadership, that the legacy leadership, and, it's sort of like the servant leadership.
Yeah.
It resonates with, the fact that I feel like people need to love other people more than they love themselves.
Wow.
It just does make sense.
Yeah.
Because God has put love inside of us.
Yeah.
Not for us. God has put love. There's some things that God gives me that even comes with my name, but it's really not mine. I have to pass it on.
Wow. Powerful.
Because God's given it to me to pass it on. Same as you.
Yeah.
There's some things that you really wanted to. It's yours. It came with your name and you want to keep it, but you find yourself giving it.
Of course.
Because
Powerful.
God really gave it to you to
like
pass
that.
it on
Yeah.
to someone else.
I like that. Powerful.
And that's the last leadership that you spoke
Yeah,
about, that kind of leadership. So, I understand why you are the way you are as well. Like, the selflessness that you have, to be able to share your story, which sometimes, as you said in the beginning, you were trying to hide, but to come out and share it so that other people can see that, they too can come out from that hole and be somebody, have a
Definitely.
legacy.
Definitely.
Leave a legacy and live a legacy.
100%.
Yeah. I don't want this show to end.
Me too.
But
No.
We're coming towards the end, but please
Yes.
leave our viewers with, where they can get in contact with you, because we need to have a generation of people that are leaving a legacy, through leadership. And of course, and I trust your leadership lectures, the leadership lectures that you give, at institutions and workplaces, absolutely incredible. And who knows, one day I'll come to one of your classes, be your student.
Iron sharpened iron. I've learned a lot from you, Professor Pauline. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. So my website's under construction at the moment, but Instagram, ONYID777. That's ONYID777. And of course, LinkedIn, Onyi Anyado, which obviously my name's somewhere on the screen. So Instagram, ONYID777. LinkedIn, Onyi Anyado. And let's connect, let's work, let's collaborate, let's live our legacy, and of course, let's leave our legacy.
Exactly. And also, people say that people are born leaders, but I think that even if you're a born leader, there's a way that you enhance leadership. So again, Onyi here, is at hand to train you as a leader within the industry that you're in. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Well, what can I say? It was an incredible show. Always smiling when I have positive people on my show, because I know you guys also feed on this positivity. And, I can tell you, Onyi is blessed, and he came here to just do nothing but bless us. So stay with us, and until next time, guys, keep it locked on us here. Goodbye.
You are watching Faith World TV.